let's get to Tucker Carlson, Ryan, who did a stream just last night with some other prominent friends of Charlie Kirk's, remembering Charlie Kirk, and of course then getting into some of the controversial questions about whether or not Kirk was moving on the question of foreign policy towards Israel in the days and weeks before his death. So let's roll this video of Tucker Carlson, A6.
I don't think I've ever seen anything lower than his attempt to hijack Charlie's memory and use it for his own political ends, particularly because what he said was completely untrue. Charlie didn't hate Jews. He loved Jews. He had tons of friends who were Jews. He loved the state of Israel. He loved going there. He did not like Bibi Netanyahu, and he said that to me many times, and he said it to people around him many times. He felt that Bibi Netanyahu was a very destructive force. He was appalled by what was happening in Gaza. He was, above all, resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars for the benefit of his country, and that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States, and he resented it.
So the if you're not like super hyper online, you may have missed some of the context about the Ackman saga, but this is becoming a really significant subplot in the broader conversation about what happened to Charlie Kirk. Bill Ackman and others allegedly convened what's now being billed as sort of an intervention for Charlie Kirk in the Hamptons in early August. And Ackman and others who were there have rejected the characterization of it as an intervention. It was sort of billed as an influencer summit for people on the right, and apparently they talked about Israel as part of their conversations in the Hamptons. But Tucker Carlson, Matt Gaetz, Candace Owens, and others
Smith last night.
Are coming out and saying that Charlie did express to them he was privately, and he talked about this publicly too, so it's not exactly surprising, but privately had expressed he was under pretty significant pressure from the pro-Israel side to not give a platform to people like Dave Smith, who were critical of Israel. In fact, actually, Charlie had Sagar on. People probably remember, I believe it was back in July, late July, so before this influencer summit, to talk about Epstein documents, a potential Israel connection to Epstein documents. And that really was upsetting.
And have
many
Sagar
people
on after Sagar was on Tucker is even more infuriating.
Yes, extra.
Right, to the Ackmans
right.
of the world, and had Ackman at his conference. I mean, it had Tucker at his conference trashing Ackman.
You pointed out, as we were prepping this segment, an interesting bit of the timeline.
Yeah, so if you want to actually try to get a sense of what went down at this meeting / intervention, whatever you want to call it, understand this. The dates are August 4th and August 5th, and it was held in the Hamptons. If you watch this show, you have probably seen the viral clip of Charlie Kirk on Megyn Kelly's program, really lashing out at people who are coming after him, saying, stop telling me what I can say and I can't say about my own government. Who do you think you are? How dare you attack my moral character? You've seen this clip probably. If you haven't, you can go find it. You can look up when that appearance was. That was August 6th. And he is heated in that clip. He is worked up. So according to Ackman and Seth Dillon and others, Seth Dillon also acknowledged that he was there, invited by Kirk, it was cordial. There was just some chit chat, some good food and some panels, and everything was fine. According to Kirk's friends, he felt intimidated, and he felt like he was being pushed in an aggressive posture with money being used as the pressure. So those are the two different claims about this event that was held on the 4th and the 5th. Go and rewatch his appearance on Megyn Kelly on the 6th.
Yeah.
Take his temperature.
Yeah.
And you ask me if that is a guy who just came out of a cordial session where they just, shared some blueberry muffin tops and enjoyed, the Bridgeport views.
Well, and there's also the possibility that conversations happened on the sidelines, of course, right? That other people who were part of...
Something ticked him off.
Yeah, right.
Something made him very angry right before that Megyn Kelly appearance.
Well, and I think, he'd been getting this for months. And same with a lot of people. For months and months and months. And some of the reporting is now that actually you can see this. He convened a focus group of young conservatives on Israel. And one of the things that people were saying more and more, or that people are saying he was privately expressing, is that what was really driving some of the upset on the young right is just being told what they can and cannot say. It wasn't necessarily about policy so much as it was about speech, and so much as it was about like offering any criticism. And that's what was really sort of driving him to be more public about some of this. And yeah, I mean,
September 2nd.
What was September 2nd?
The focus group.
Oh,
right.
I think he did one earlier in the summer too. But yeah, that was another thing that had been happening. Actually, after, I had intended to send him a note, and I never did it, to just thank him for being honest and standing up back then. But
it's a reminder, you got to send those messages.
100%. Yeah, yep, you do. But and also for his conversation with Sagar, which was very well done and very fair. And I think people underestimate how hard that is to do. Just like people on the left underestimate how hard it is for you and Crystal to sit next to Sagar and me sometimes, and people on the right underestimate how hard it is, like how much backlash we get. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but it's just people underestimate what goes on behind the scenes, and like the trash that you get for just sitting next to someone who disagrees with you and who your friends disagree with. It's constant, and I can't imagine, especially for somebody like Charlie Kirk, who had been going back and forth to Israel, probably like once a year at least over the last 10 years. I just, it's hard.
Yeah, it looks like this focus group was late July.
Late July.
Yeah.
So the timeline there is quite interesting.
Yeah.
In terms of
about a week. It was about a week before this Hamptons event. Right.
And yeah, who knows what was happening on the sidelines of that? People can say we didn't see any pressure or whatever, but there could have been different conversations that happened certainly, and we're going to learn more about them. But man, it's ugly to watch.
And what he is saying about Netanyahu, by the way. So Netanyahu has done multiple things. One is that Netanyahu went on air and read a letter that Kirk wrote to him in May. And he read a line of it that says, "I love visiting Israel, I love Israel." And then he stops right there.
Netanyahu does.
Netanyahu stops.
Yeah.
So Candace Owens said, release the whole letter, because I know that letter was actually a lot of criticism of you. And that makes sense. Like, that's the kind of line that you start with. Hey, I love you. You're my good friend, always supported you, but, and everything that comes after the but is what's important.
Yeah.
That was frustrating to Candace Owens, Tucker, and others. And also, Netanyahu went on air and said, I recently spoke with him, and apparently it was at this intervention, like he called into this thing. I recently spoke with Charlie Kirk, and I invited him to come visit Israel, and now that visit won't happen. And if you notice the phrasing of that, it leaves out what Kirk's friends say, which is that Kirk told him no, that he felt like it was an attempt to kind of bully him and pressure him, and he said no. So yes, that trip will not happen.
Right.
He's been assassinated, but you're leaving out a key detail.
Yeah, very
you're trying
gross.
to drape yourself in him.
Yeah, that's very, very, very gross. And it's going to be used, this is all going to be used as a football. And the truth probably, by the way, is that if we're trying to read between the lines and see what Charlie may or may not have said about Candace Owens or may or may not have said about Israel, the truth is probably that people who are reflecting on their conversations are, he was trying to get along with different people in different conversations. And that's also a very difficult thing to do. Maybe he did disagree bitterly with Candace Owens on certain things, and I'm sure that's also the case. When his other friends confront him about another friend's politics that they disagree with bitterly, he's probably going to say, yeah, I don't agree with her. And then they can take that conversation and go forward, as opposed to him being like, hey, listen, right? Like it's if you're in a private conversation, you're probably trying to get along with everyone. And so you can probably have both of these things being true at once, that Charlie was telling Candace and others, Matt Gaetz, maybe privately, that he was frustrated with Netanyahu, and then he was telling pro-Israel people that he was frustrated a bit with Candace. Like, all of these things can be true at once.
Right.
He didn't know that these conversations were going to turn into a political football when he was assassinated. So
he was also asked by Greta Van Susteren, I think it was, on air, like Netanyahu was asked, did you have anything to do with killing him? I've had people ask me if I think that Israel had anything to do with this. I do not. And part of it is just, on a baseline level, I don't think, even if Netanyahu, say, wanted to do it, none of the security services would, I think, participate in it because they could not do it secretly. Like, there's too much coordination. Like, so it's just, that's why it's, like, you don't even have to investigate it any further than that, I think. They just, they couldn't keep it secret.
yeah.
So it wouldn't even make the whiteboard because you can't do it. Like, they just can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it happens that at the time he was killed, all of this was going on, which, as I've said, is like another layer of tragedy.
That's right. So we'll obviously continue to follow this story. Let's bring in Ken Klippenstein now, Ryan, to talk about some of the messages from this Discord server Ken was able to obtain.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show, ad-free, and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.